Okay, so hi. Wanted to just share an issue that I was looking into that I think I figured out in terms of texturing Alembics in Unreal Engine 5.1. It's just having this issue where it looks very pixelated, and there's a lot of reasons why a texture might look pixelated in Unreal. But it's a little bit more simple to solve when it's not on an Alembic. There's a few different reasons. So I kind of had to troubleshoot literally everything for a while. And again, you go to the forums and there's not a whole lot of help there really talking about this stuff, and your problem may or may not be there. So to the point, I've got an Alembic from C4D. You might have it from Blender or whatever you use to just do sims with. It's like 5 gigs imported into Unreal. It's really nice subdivs. It's good. There's really nothing wrong at all with the Alembic. Now the problem, I'm pretty sure, is coming from when you import the Alembic, is what I found out. But to demonstrate my point, I've got a cube here in Unreal. This is the default cube. I'm going to bring my test material that I've been using, which looks a little goofy, which you'll see here, to kind of determine what was going on. So it's really squished. Let's just jump into the material editor, and I'm just going to kick on temporarily the world space UV. So then when we go back, okay, so as you can see here, just on this cube, very straight lines, no pixelating issues at all. So I'm going to go back and untick this, because we're going to then apply this material to the Alembic, and you'll see the problem that I was encountering. And I'm not running this in real time, it's paused, but I am remote connecting in to my machine, so it's a little slow. Okay, so then once applied to the Alembic, you'll see instantly we got some weird rasterization issues. Or it's not rasterization, I'm sorry, it's just pixelating issues. So this was really puzzling. Is it the material? Is it a resolution, like max size in the material settings, like in a blueprint that you have to change? What is going on? And so what I found out was it has everything to do with how you import the Alembic into Unreal. I don't think there's anything that's specific with exporting, really. Out of C4D, it's pretty standard export. But the settings that I was following from like some tutorials from, pretty big 3D people on YouTube, their default import settings for Unreal Alembics were what was causing this problem. And that's through no fault of their own, obviously. It's just, I don't know, it's weird, man. It's Unreal. You have to really just figure this stuff out on your own. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to bring in an Alembic the correct way, and I'll point out how it's brought in the wrong way. So with this very slow remote, let me go to my Alembics folder. Okay, so in my Alembics folder, I'm going to import and, again, show you how to do it the right way. So let's just grab, I think it's import test. It's kind of a copy that I was trying to see for re-importing how this works. And okay, so here's our Alembic cache import options. Some people check this track thing up here. You don't necessarily have to do that. Winbush likes to start at frame 1 because he said it works for him. I never really had any issues if starting at frame 0, so I'm not sure what that's about. But you do want to change it to geometry cache, because this is an animated sim. It does move. And so what was going on for me was this thing right here. It's the compressed texture coordinates number of bits. Bit precision used for compressing texture coordinates. So I guess the default for this, which a lot of people don't change, is actually too small and causes this pixelation problem. I'm pretty sure for what I was doing, I was kicking it up to 30. Now, I also thought it had something to do with the compressed position precision as well, because this is talking about vertex positions, but I don't think that was it. So everything else is pretty standard. You can change this to whatever. At one point I was even changing the scale, like importing it 10 times big and then scaling it back down, thinking maybe I just need more weird import resolution. I don't know how that makes any sense, but that wasn't it. But yeah, so just changing this to 30 is all I'm doing, and this is going to take a while, so I will fast forward when it's done importing. Okay, so it looks like our new Alembic is in here, and I'm going to get it all situated in place, so jump to that. Okay, so here is the Alembic we just imported. Underneath that is the wrong one, so we'll just turn the old one off, and this is our new one that we're going to turn on. And you'll see when I apply our test material, it's fine. It's totally normal. Maybe it has a little bit, but it's just about as much as what was going on over here. So, yeah, and one telltale way to know that something is up, I'm going to go real slow because it's hard to zoom in without the clipping thing, and I'm still a noob at this and don't understand how everything works. Okay, so that's probably pretty good right there. So the default material that Unreal uses too, it's called this world grid material. That's just kind of the default thing it throws on any object that kind of doesn't really have any texturing going on. It's just a piece of geometry you brought in. This can kind of tell you what's up as well. So if you compare what this looks like, and we'll go back to our old Alembic, and then we'll reset the texture so that it goes to the material. You'll see there's this weird, I don't know if you can see that, weird, I don't even know what it looks like. It's like, it is some kind of weird pixelation. It's like that one noise effect, not Voronoi, it's some kind of like cube noise or something weird. And again, compare that to the one it's supposed to be, and that's correct. And this was also where I was like becoming suspicious about this cloth material that I was developing, which, let's see here, yes, so like you'll see the same weird kind of glitching happening here, and it definitely doesn't look right compared to if we go back to our new one again, and let's throw this cloth material, let's drag it, yes, you see how much, well, not even how much better, it looks correct. That's what it's supposed to be. So yeah, that has everything to do with how you import it. So what was it in my little notes? Bit setting for the compressed texture coordinate number of bits. Now I haven't done any testing with like going past 30. I also noticed that when I brought it in this way, the size on disk increased by 200 megabytes. So it's probably adding more data to have like the texture map more highly detailed. I'm not exactly sure why it does it like that. The other thing that I was doing, which this is just extra credit at this point, if you like go into a material or a asset, yeah, you go into the asset, which is the map or texture that I imported for this thing. There are always settings in the details for what your size is imported at, the max in-game, which is what I thought maybe was causing this problem. And there's a myriad of different compression options also going on down here. Some people, like if you change this to like 8, it just gets super blurry, which makes sense because it's only letting you do like 8 by 8 pixels, which is ridiculous. So some people find that kicking this up fixes their texture problem, but I'm telling you, that's just not what was going on here. It was purely an Alembic import problem. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully this helps somebody, because this took me a while to figure out, and it now seems to be working. And on top of that, in the past, I also had like slipping problems with materials on Alembics when I got it right one point by accident, because I'm so new to this. But I'll put a clip on the end of the same thing that I just showed you, and it is sticking to the Alembic correctly, so it is UV mapping in Unreal Engine the way it's supposed to, which is awesome. It also is doing the motion blur correctly. You can also import with motion vectors, depending on how you're doing your Alembics out of what program you're in, but the motion blur by default that Unreal was applying to this Alembic texture that wasn't slipping or doing anything weird, it looks awesome. It's exactly how I wanted it to perform now that I figured out I was importing Alembics incorrectly. in this case. So hopefully somebody finds this video useful, and thanks.